let's make a delicious and simple shredded chicken and gravy for dinner tonight. I'm gonna be honest, I don't measure my seasonings with anything other than instinct. I've been cooking a long time, so I know just about how much of what I want or what I like to use for certain recipes. And for this super delicious, super easy shredded chicken and gravy recipe, I'm going to use my usual spice mixture, and that's black pepper, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, Italian seasonings, a little bit of chili, and of course, slap your mama. If you aren't using slap your mama, slap yourself, because this stuff is delicious. I'm telling you. But anyways, I'm very generous with the seasonings, and I don't pack them in, and I also never turn it over on the cutting board. There's no real reason for that. I just feel like it ruins the integrity of all the seasoning I just did. So some pointers when you're making shredded chicken gravy is to make sure that your chicken breasts are dry and at room temperature. So if you've got fresh chicken breasts that you just grab from the store, just rinse them off and pat them dry, let them get to room temperature. But if you did how I did and you're thawing them from your freezer, don't do it in hot water. I don't do it in hot water because I know better. But for those who don't know, don't do it in hot water. That's the fastest way you're gonna get dry chicken. And we want our chicken to be juicy, right? Okay, and pour some oil in your pan. I'm using olive oil. I'm big on olive oil for grilling and sauteing. So you want to let your oil get a little hotter than what I did here. I'd say medium low is fine. We want to be able to give the chicken a nice crust, but not burn it, like we want to be able to cook it for a while without burning it. So put your chicken season side down, season it up again how you did it on the original side, season it up, and then cover it for about 10 minutes. While you're waiting for your chicken to cook, if you want to add some veggies to your gravy, now is the perfect time for you to start chopping up your vegetables. I used onions, green pepper, and red pepper. I was just trying to use up what I had left in my refrigerator, so that's why there's not a whole bunch. And also, I didn't think to record that, so you don't see that here, but now's a good time to start doing that. After about 10 minutes, you can go on ahead and check it. We're looking for a nice golden crust, and can you see that? That's what we're looking for. It's perfect. It's gonna be fire. Trust me, believe me. Like I said, our goal here is to keep it covered so that not only do we get that little golden crust, but we steam the chicken so it cooks all the way through without burning the oil, because we're going to use the oil for our gravy and we don't want it to be gross. But look at that. Look at this chicken. It's so, I'm telling you, it is delicious, and it looks good too. I mean, come on now. Alright, so after you flipped it and let it cook another 10 minutes until it was cooked through, go on ahead and put it to the side and let it cool down a little bit. You don't want to start shredding it when it's hot because you don't want to dry it out. So while it's cooling, you can throw, if you did vegetables like I did, you can go ahead and throw them in the oil and saute them a little bit until they get to a nice soft texture. If you didn't use vegetables, that's fine too. What I did was I added in about 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm sorry, but my camera cut off and I didn't get that, me adding in the flour, but it's about 2 tablespoons of flour, maybe a little more. But what I was looking to do was just to create like a nice thick paste, I guess, that absorbed the oil. That's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to absorb the oil with the flour and create a little paste. I cook it around so we can, as they say, cook out the flour flavor. And when it got to a nice thick paste-like texture and it's not bubbling as much as you see here, I went on ahead and I added hot water. I mean, I guess you could use cold water, but in my experience, it kind of leaves you with a clumpy gravy, and that's not what we're looking for here. We're looking for a nice, smooth, delicious gravy. And another tip is to not pour in all your water at once. I use about 2.5 cups of water because I wanted a thin consistency, since I knew I was going to put this over rice and I wanted the rice to absorb the gravy. I didn't want a thick gravy. I just went ahead and like did a real watery gravy, and I poured the water in slowly, and I mixed it in, and then I poured in more, and then I mixed it in. It's best to do this with a whisk, but if you've got nice and beautiful cookware that you don't want to tear up, use silicone tools. That's what I'm using here, because I'll be damned if I use a metal whisk or metal anything in this pan. But that's my advice to you. Use silicone utensils and just take your time to this, you know, show it a little love. What is it called? TLC, some tender love and care. Take your time with this because you don't want to mess it up, and you can, in my opinion, just ruin gravy so quick. Now, as you've seen, gravy is really easy to make. It's just oil, flour, and water, which should also let you know that it's very plain tasting. You want to go ahead and season it up with chicken bouillon and whatever spices you'd liked. I just put what I used on my chicken in this gravy. It's delicious just like this. Do what you like, but make sure you taste it so that's to your liking, right? And at this point, we can mix it all up and simmer our gravy. We don't want it to boil because we don't want it to thicken up, so we're just gonna simmer it and add back in our shredded chicken from earlier. We're gonna do that for about 5 or 10 minutes just so the chicken can heat up a little more and absorb the gravy and all the flavors and just marry together and be delicious. Now, while I was making this video, I was also trying to make another video with my homemade buttermilk biscuit recipe. I've been making these bad boys at least twice a week, and they're absolutely delicious. They're perfect for breakfast or lunch, even dinner. But I was having so much trouble with my camera this particular day, even with filming the shredded chicken video, so I didn't get all the footage I needed for this. But I was not gonna waste the footage that I did get. These maybe take in total, if like you're proud this, you know, these only take like 20 minutes from beginning to end. So while I was making the shredded chicken, I was throwing these together, and they finished up about the same time the chicken and gravy itself was done simmering together. But while I was cooking that, finishing that up, my lovely daughter was smothering them in butter, and they just looked so good. These biscuits were perfect with this recipe. If you don't know how I served the shredded chicken gravy, I served it over rice, and we had a side of mixed vegetables and these biscuits. This is an A1 dinner. A1, okay? Give it a shot. If you've been watching this video so far, I hope that you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up. Comment how these biscuits look to you, because baby, they look good to me and they were delicious. But anyways, once again, thanks for watching, and see you next time.